Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sauna Wrestling Podcast. A small show today, but before we get into things, I would just like to take a brief moment to talk about some recent events happening across the brand. Last Friday, we had a big announcement happen from one of our now ex-executive producer, Tim. He has stepped away from the brand for personal and mental reasons. He is starting grad school. That is a big factor in why he needed to step away. He will still be somewhat involved with the channel, maybe for doing predictions and some things here and there. But for now, he's stepping away from his duties as executive producer, and I have taken on the role of executive producer, as you might have seen in this week's video in the All Out review, which was my first video I ever edited. But nonetheless, we would like to wish Tim the best in his future endeavors, and hopefully we will stay in touch with him. But for now, we must carry on, and as they say, the show must go on. And welcome back to the Sauna Wrestling Podcast, episode number 23. So, as always, you are joined by the real sauna host, the king of shoot style, Stel. And yeah, we have a small show today, as I said, as I am joined by Eric. How we doing, pal?
I'm doing all right. Sad Tim left. Totally understandable. Hopefully he comes back soon or joins us for another podcast soon.
Yeah, we'll see. He will, like I said, he'll still do predictions from what he told me. Like him and Scott will still do them, so he'll be involved in some way. So he'll cool stuff on the league table and everything for the predictions, and we'll go on from there. And speaking of pay-per-views, that's a good segue because we had a couple happen recently, but I think probably the most eventful one was just this past weekend in AEW All Out, and a lot of stuff happened, and it was a show of mixed emotions and mixed receptions. I, for one, as you saw in my review, thought it was genuinely good, but there was the elephant in the room that was the Broken Rules match, and Jesus Christ, is he alive? Is he okay? I'll step away because everyone's pretty much heard me talk about the match at this point if you've watched the video. Eric, how are you feeling about that?
Matt Hardy will not die. I don't know how he is. He got up so quick. When he initially hit, you can tell he was not.
Aubrey was just looking at him so intently too. Oh, that's bad. Oh. Okay, we're back.
There we go.
I think that was that might have just been lag. I've always edited that out. If anything.
That's what happened to Matt Hardy. He just went out for a little bit and then came back.
Yeah.
I thought oh my god, they got to stop this. And then, but he gets back up and it didn't look affected. It did at first.
Well, keep going.
And then he went into that room or whatever, and then they probably gave him some smelling salts, woke him back up, and he's like, all right, go back down up there. And then he did.
Yeah,
and
because what I remember seeing, you see the scaffolding happen and Sammy fell off, and that was the finish, which I think they had to cut ahead because, health reasons, understandable. But there was the bit where they were still fighting past the scissor lift after the mat got up, and Sammy gets back up and Matt just falls back down. And I'm like, something's wrong here. And then there was you saw the X twice because Aubrey did it twice during the match, in the early stages. And I'm like, this is bad. It started off okay, I thought, but then that happened, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. And I felt really bad giving that a dud rating because it shouldn't have been that, but I can't do anything else about it, and that's what really sapped the show too. And I thought everything else was fine. I enjoyed the second half of the show was really good. The opening up until that point was fine, but but I guess we'll try and avoid the downlights. The rest of the show, like I said, genuinely good. I especially enjoyed all the title matches, pretty much all three of them. Women's title was very good. Tag titles was very good. And I talked about how I thought World and women's title was similar in formula because heel dominates a lot of the match. They get to showcase what they're good about. Face comes back, they win. I don't know. What did you think of the rest of the show? I thought it was good. I just want to see what your thoughts were too.
The title matches definitely saved the show. The first the tooth and nail match I thought was kind of dumb.
It was fine. It was fine for what it was.
Yeah. And then just nothing really popped out to me. Then the Matt Hardy thing happened, and then the title matches happened, and it really brought the show back up.
Yeah, I think it's just the big thing that really hurt the show in a lot of people's eyes was the crowd, but you can't really blame them considering the energy. And it was really humid in Jacksonville too. I heard it was over 100 degrees in the ring, and I'm like, holy crap! No wonder it might have been rough for some guys in there, especially towards the end of the show, the longer match, the half-hour tag team match. That must have been really hard to work. And the main event was only 20 minutes, but it was fine for what it was. There's just a lot of stuff happening. So I think from there, the only thing we really gotten from there was the follow-up show this week was really a lot of storyline focus. And the big thing that we saw, because we saw on All Out how Kip Sabian's going to have a best man, we got the best man.
Best man.
The Best Man. He is here in All Elite Wrestling. I thought he would go to Impact, but no. He's all recovered from COVID. He can still stream on Twitch. We'll get more about that later. It's Miro, formerly known as Rusev, making a debut. So this is a really... I didn't expect this. I thought he was like still either at home or like he was getting ready to go somewhere else or just like hang out. But no, I didn't see this coming. I thought it was a really good debut. And a pretty standard, like held back promo, brass ring stuff. But like I'm excited because I thought this would have been good for him. Like when he got released, I was thinking, like I said, either that or Impact would have been his best bet. Because I feel like Impact could use like another big name to help them like work out like their main event scene, considering how they're still trying to fix that with the whole title situation. But in AEW, it's kind of, I wonder what he's going to do, because I feel like Kip Sabian should be a little worried if he pisses him off or something goes wrong, because he's scary. But it's cool. I'm excited for what to do with his character. Like what do you see happening like for the first like 6 months for him?
I see him, Kip Sabian being buddies, and then I think, isn't his wedding like next week already?
I have no idea. I haven't heard about like what's gonna happen with that. I haven't heard. They already booked next week. I know that too. I think they're pre-taped because of like how they're gonna air it. I haven't heard anything about it.
So for the next 6 weeks, I could see them just building up the wedding. Them planning the wedding, and then when the wedding happens, it's a wrestling wedding. It never goes well.
I mean, Jake Roberts is there too. Jake Roberts is in that company, so the reception's not gonna go well either.
Nope. And he's probably gonna break up the wedding, and Kip Sabian's gonna be a douche and just piss him off. So
and they'll have a big match either on Dynamite or like his big pay-per-view debut at Full Gear, and then he'll win. And then depending on who is the TNT or world champion, even by that point, probably TNT champion, maybe go for that. But we'll see. I think it might still be Brody after Full Gear, considering what Cody's up to. I also like Cody has a game show now, and I'm like, what? Yeah. Which I thought was weird. I think Jack from Cultaholic summed it up really well, where it's like you see his brother get beaten up by Brody Lee and just on the ground in pain, and then it cuts to Cody like, hey, I got a new game show, guys. Snoop Dogg is on it. And I'm like, Cody, read the room. Your brother just got beat up.
Read the room.
It was so funny to me. Like, I thought about that. Like, it's actually hilarious. What else happened? World titles. Go ahead.
Still talk about Miro a little bit. So I heard his contract is very, very nice. It's a nice long contract with AEW, but they are allowing him to still work New Japan and other indie promotions.
Yeah, he can work outside the US, from what I heard. Yep.
Just as long as it doesn't coincide with his AEW dates.
Yeah, so as long as if he wanted to go and work Wrestle Kingdom, for example, he can go do that because they don't have any big shows in January except from TV specials, and those are on Wednesdays anyway. And Wrestle Kingdom is usually on January 4th, which I think is on a Monday in 2021 because of it's either Monday or Sunday, unless they want to make it 2 nights again, which I wouldn't blame them for. So he could do that. I don't think it's too late to be in the G1, which we will get to in a bit. But he wants to do Tag League, New Japan Cup, or any New Beginning show next year, he'll be allowed to. I don't know what he would do right away because who knows what New Japan's going to look like come that time. Because we saw in the summer how crazy things got for a little bit.
Yeah. But
we'll see then. It's exciting. He also worked European shows, and those are allowed to. So maybe you'll see him in indie promotions there. Maybe WXW, maybe Progress if he really wanted to. So he can do just about whatever he wants as long as it's outside the US. Would that include Mexico too? If you want to go to Mexico?
I assume so, yeah.
So, hey, that'd be cool. Maybe Triple Mania next year. So he can do kind of whatever he wants. And there's stuff happening in Mexico. So he has a really, really nice contract. So, they've really been working with new talent. Obviously, there's also the fact that they have NWA talent potentially being involved. But I've heard, there might not be any more, considering the whole Thunder Rosa thing was kind of date by date. And she's still contracted, but she's defending the title on Dynamite, which is cool. The NWA title is being defended on Dynamite, which is cool. So I think it's more just a mutual agreement between them and Corgan. So it's a good time for partnerships for them. So there's letting people come here and go. And it's kind of like the Gallows and Anderson thing too, because they can work Impact, but also go to New Japan. So it's cool that more companies are letting people be flexible for where they can work as long as it's okay. So I like that. Yeah. If you want to stick to what else happened, so FTR won the belts. Nothing really happened beyond that. If you watched Dynamite this week, I think you did based off what we know. Yeah. The FTR stuff is really, they're kind of setting up their first tag feud, and nothing really else is happening there. We got Moxley and Archer. That's gonna be in October. See, I thought that would be at Full Gear. But it looks like it's going to be on Dynamite next month. So they have a month to build it. So how do you feel about how they're going to build that match, or what do you if it's going to be a stipulation or not?
Could it be Texas Deathmatch 2? Electric Boogaloo?
I'm sure Khan would be okay with that, considering how fun that match was at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
So like I'm personally looking forward to it, but I'll let you take the floor.
I think since it's happening on Dynamite, I don't think Archer's gonna win.
Nah.
But we got to see what happens. It's tough. It's too early to call because we don't know which way they're gonna go. Because Archer's mainly been on AEW Dark and not really on Dynamite.
Not until like the Battle Royal was announced. Really, he wasn't really appearing that much. He had a match against on Fyter Fest. That was kind of just squash Joey like a glorified squash match. That was about it. But then he had a good performance in the Battle Royal, which is cool. But like that's just about all we've been able to work with. Like to like the TV / pay-per-view public eye. So going beyond that, it's maybe thinking like I don't know what's gonna come next for him, like what's gonna come until he won the Battle Royal. But it's a matter of how they're gonna build it. Because like I know from what I heard from Tony Schiavone that they're allowed to say that they've worked together before, but I'm not sure they can specifically say they worked in New Japan. But I think they might at least like give a tidbit to that, which will be cool because we did see the match earlier this year. But I'm gonna see like how they want to go with that. I think Monty is gonna win too because I don't know what's gonna happen for Full Gear depending on what they want to do for like all the matches. But I think what I'm thinking is because they have like a good while till Full Gear, which is November, they could do Moxley Omega 2 at Full Gear.
I was thinking that too, yeah.
Because they can wait off on Hangman because he can like do like his own like redemption arc, like try to like get over like all his emotional problems he's having because he was really bad about what happened, so he can like do like his own thing for a little bit, maybe hit like a new low, and then when Kenny probably wins the title, whether it's at Full Gear or later down the line as like the new cleaner, like new version of the cleaner persona he's pretty much teasing, then you can do Hangman and Omega. And that's where Hangman like gets it back on Kenny and wins. Like this could be like all out next year for all we know. Like this could be long time from now. Who knows? So that's like the way they could do it. But that's all I can really think of from Dynamite because everything else is kind of like lower card stuff, kind of setting up for what's coming up. That's like really what Wednesday was about. Switching over to the other show. It was on a Tuesday this week. We had a new NXT champion being crowned after the crazy Super Tuesday series, as we had the 60-minute Iron Man match. And ended in a two-way draw, and then Regal makes a match for the next week. We have a new champion, and he's actually our superstar of the week, too, as it is the Prince himself. Finn Balor is now a two-time winner of Superstar of the Week as he won the NXT Championship. I thought it was a really good match between him and Cole. Very fast-paced stuff, pretty standard stuff. I liked it a lot. And yeah, he wins the NXT title. I thought it was kind of predictable that he would win, considering I don't know if they would want to go back to the Cole reign, like just 2 months after he lost it. Not even 2 months, I think. So I think it's a good pick. It's hard to say where he goes from here, if you ask me, because I don't know what they want to do right away, considering how the main event scene looks. Because I think what they're going to do with Cole is that he seems to be a good guy now. I don't know if you've seen the backstage interview they did where like him and Balor are talking and they share Too Sweet, and I'm like, oh, he congratulated him. That's kind of not like Cole. So I think they're gonna make him a good guy, but the rest of the era are still like they're still beating up people. They're beating up Drake Maverick every week, so they're still being assholes. So it's like, are they gonna have like tension? Like, it makes me think. So also I don't think they're gonna go. Oh, go ahead.
It seems like they're keeping Adam Cole and the rest of Undisputed Era separated because we haven't seen them together in a while
since the Pat McAfee stuff. Like that was on NXT TV. Oop. All right, we're back. I don't know why my camera's like liking to do that today, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I think it might be like some like tension. Like maybe they'll do Cole Roddy. Because I know that was like a big thing that we always talked about, like before, like the Pat McAfee stuff happened. Like that could happen at some point, and like loser gets kicked out, or like something happens, and like I think it's like loser gets kicked out, and like maybe the loser, if it's Cole, he goes on his own to Raw or SmackDown. Which I don't know if they want. I don't know if they want to do that. I'd rather them be a unit if they all moved. I think they would just be like a really good faction. But we know how Vince is with factions. That's the shitty part. So it's tough. But sticking to Balor, like I don't know what they're gonna do because I heard the next takeover is next month. Or it's like really early in October. So I can't think of anybody right away that would face him. He will probably win, no matter who it is. Because, first title defense. But yeah, I just think it's a good thing. After like all like he had a good start in NXT, but then it kind of fizzled out after Portland because the stuff with Walter never happened because COVID, and then he was losing for a little bit. But then like the summer he got back up there, which was good. So it's good to see it. I like seeing it. Good stuff. He's a 2-time NXT champion now, joining Nakamura and Samoa Joe. So he joins that illustrious club. So yeah, good stuff to Balor. And speaking with Balor, let's go back to his previous promotions. let's go over to New Japan, as we got some big stuff to talk about at the start of the week. We had the participants revealed, and what I've now been told is the entire schedule of the G1 has been revealed.
Yes, it has.
I thought it was the first 2 nights until Eric told me.
No, it was revealed last night during their show in Korakuen Hall, New Japan Road, where El Desperado and Kanemaru won the junior tag belts, defeating Takahashi and Bushi.
LIJ lost. Oh well.
Yeah, it revealed all the matches, all the main events, for every single night during the G1, all 18 events, and goddamn, does it look good.
I'd say they have like a lot of talent that we haven't seen in a while in there too.
Yep.
So we have Kentis back in Japan, Jay White's back in Japan, which that's good for storyline reasons too, because the whole thing with the Bullet Club is kind of interesting right now. The stuff with Evil going on. Now we got Jay White back, so maybe they might do like a Ascension thing. But what are you thinking?
I have a lot of theories about how this is going to go and what's going to happen.
Eric took out like the entire G1 schedule and did his predictions all on paper. So there is going to be a proper G1 discussion video coming in like the coming days to be recorded and then edited, which that won't be like a lot of editing, honestly. It's more just a discussion. And it's going to be a lot of different stuff on it. So it's going to be fun, but right now we're still, I haven't done anything for my G1 stuff. I've just seen like who's in it and like the day 1 and 2 matches. So I will have to sit down and think about like what I think the big matches are going to be, like what my final like idea is going to be, and then like we'll go from there in the actual video. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. But if you want to keep going, Eric, go ahead.
Just my kind of overall theory is it's going to be very Bullet Club centric, because really they're kind of the ones that are main focus, and like even Chaos, there's kind of like they're infighting a little bit, but not that much. LIJ is kind of like it's really just Naito right now. And I mean Suzuki-gun. There's a few Suzuki-gun members in the G1 this year.
Yeah, who's in it? It's Minoru Suzuki, Taichi,
ZSJ.
I gotta say, because I don't think Desperado just won a tag belt, so he won't be in there. Yeah, he's the only one I can think of. I think it's just those 3. So you got the leader and then the tag champions. Chaos is pretty. No one from Roppongi 3K is in the G1 because it's mainly heavyweights. No. Ospreay because he's Chaos. Okada, I think is that it? Oh, Goto's in there. Goto.
Toriano, Ishii.
I keep forgetting he's Chaos. Yeah, so there's a good amount of them in there. LIJ, it's Naito. Takahashi, I don't think is in the G1.
Nope, it's just Naito and
Shingo. Oh, Shingo too.
Shingo.
Yeah, Shingo. Yeah. I think Shingo I think he's B block, right? No, he's A block because Naito's in the B block and they're not in the same block.
Yep.
I think Sonata and Naito are in the same. Yeah, Sonata, Evil, and Naito are all in the same block. They're all in the same block. So we get Sonata and Evil in the G1. I thought that would be a final, but no.
That's the B block final. That's on a B block final night.
Oh, it's gonna be Sonata Evil. Oh, that's a good way to end it. So I feel like by that, then we're gonna have one of them at least get close to the final, and that could be like the deciding match of who goes. Because I don't think Naito will win. I think it's like it's Okada. He's obviously gonna be a favorite. Shingo could be like Shingo won't win, but he have a good performance. Ibushi's an interesting one. Tanahashi probably won't. He'll do okay. He usually puts guys over in the G1 at this point. He's like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'll have to think about it more. But it'll be cool to see other people come back. Like Jay White could be a good front runner because, all the momentum he has coming back. Big stuff, big storylines for him. Maybe he might win.
I do believe Jay White is winning G1 Climax 30. I'll say that right now.
I think he should. He's supposed to win the G1. He's supposed to win the New Japan Cup.
He was supposed to win the New Japan Cup, and I don't want to give too much away from our other video, but I think at the end of this, he is going to be slated as King of the Bullet Club, King Switchblade.
That's the way it should be. So I don't know what's gonna happen to Evil at that point, but that's more so safe for the G1 video coming very soon. Yeah. So lots of stuff happening in New Japan. New Japan US, obviously you got the whole US title situation figured out because Moxley will defend against Kenta when the time is right. We have no idea when, but I'm sure it'll happen. And I'd say in the coming months, whenever Moxley can get over there, because obviously he has a very busy schedule in the States, got wife to look after and all that stuff. But that's more about personal stuff. We're not here to talk about that. Going back, I guess we'll stay out of the US. Going over to the United Kingdom, NXT UK is making a return on this coming Thursday at time of recording.
Yes, it is.
And they've laid out the title matches. So they're gonna do, I think 3 weeks. There's gonna be different title matches on each show. So you got the tag belts. I think it's going to be Gallows. I forget who Gallows is facing, but I think they're facing Amir Jordan and Oliver Oliver Carter, which is kind of like a filler, like squash match probably. This is just kind of like lower card guys. Kaylee Ray versus Piper Niven. That's gonna be like one of their bigger matches. That was the feud they were gonna do before they went away. Yeah. That's gonna be a great match. Those two work really well together. Some of their indie matches are on the network now, and then the UK title match, because this is what it was going to be. I think at Takeover Dublin, it's gonna be Walter versus Dragunov, and that's gonna be fun. They have a lot of history in WXW, and I wonder if they might just give them the entire show because they have an hour. I have a feeling it's at least going to be like 30 minutes. Who knows? But that actually seems kind of hard to predict, because I think Dragunov is the right guy to beat Walter, if you ask me. But since they're just coming
the right time,
they're just coming back, so it's like maybe not now. They could do a rematch, maybe if it's like a faulty finish. But because all of Imperium is separated, but like they could get Barthel and Eichner over there probably because of private jets and stuff. So we'll see. So it's interesting. They also I don't know if you heard about this. They're doing a thing called the Heritage Cup. It's like their mid card. Yeah. So this is like a mid card tournament, and it uses, I think it's like 8 people, and they use the British rounds rules. You know what a British rounds match is?
No.
I'm gonna look it up. So the Heritage Cup, it's gonna be basically the way to win. Hold on, Heritage Cup, NXT UK. I wish I had pulled up because my thing's being very slow. NXT UK. Let's see. So yeah, there's going to be a new title at the very end, or at least a trophy from what I'm hearing. So where are the rules? It's an 8-man tournament. It's a very special honor, it says. So it's going to be where are the rules? It's going to have... So our participants are Noam Dar, Alexander Wolf, Flash Morgan Webster, A-Kid, Dave Mastiff, Trent Seven, Joseph Connors, and a mystery 8th man. Ooh, maybe a new signing. Or somebody else. Let's see. Does it say what the rules are? It's not, so I'm gonna find, because like because British rounds matches are very different. I remember they did one on NXT UK between Sid Scala and I think Cassius Ohno, who is now Chris Hero, by the way. All right, here it is. So it goes like this: the British rounds match. They go, all matches consist of 6-minute 3 rounds. All matches are 2 out of 3 falls. You can get a fall by winning by pinfall, submission, or countout. Once a fall occurs, the round ends. And the match ends once the wrestler gets 2 falls. So that's the entire tournament. So you have to win 2 falls in a matter of 3 rounds. Yes, 6 minutes in 3 rounds. So each match cannot go longer than 18 minutes. And you have to win 2 falls in that period, basically. But you have to win in 6 minutes before a break happens. So if there's a tie, I wonder how they would do that.
Yeah,
I've only seen one of these, and I remember seeing a lot of it. So I'm interested. I'm not sure who's going to win. It depends who the mystery man is. But yeah. They're obviously loading up the card. It's gonna be like studio wrestling, as I've talked about on the show before too, because they're gonna be in the BT Sports studio. So it'll be cool seeing like a different atmosphere for it. So it'll just be nice seeing them back. I don't know what's gonna happen with the brand. I'll have to watch when it comes out on Thursday. It's only an hour show, so why not? But we'll go away from Grand Pastures. Let's head back to the States, as there's been some unfortunate releases, and this one came as a shock. Talent wise, the AOP have been released, and this came a bit out of left field for me, because this is a team that had been cursed of injuries, if you ask me. Because one of them, I think it was did Aiken get injured first when they first came up to Raw?
I don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but one of them got a torn bicep. They were gone for a while. Then they come back. They go with Seth Rollins. Oh, cool! They actually have a whole thing going on now. But then the other one gets injured. And now we haven't seen them for a while. The other one just goes away off TV, so Seth doesn't have them anymore. And now we found this week that they've been released. And it sucks because, looking back to how they were in NXT and how much they've, grown since then, they could have been like this cool, like, new powerhouse tag team. But now we don't know what's going to happen to them once they're all safe. And then Paul Ellering was talking about, like, potentially coming back to manage them again. But because of COVID happened, he wasn't able to. So it sucks. So it sucks. Eric, I'm sure you could share a lot of sentiments of how, like, it's unfortunate. We didn't really get to see them get to do a lot.
AOP started off NXT as the baddest team on the planet. Then they came to Raw, won the tag belts, made Drake Maverick pee himself.
Yeah, that was Big Show that did that, right?
Got injured a couple times, and then joined Seth Rollins. I thought would have been great.
It was cool too how it started out.
Yeah, and then one of them gets injured, which happens, and I think now they're just giving up on them.
That's sad. Because I don't know what's going to happen to them either, because it's so uncertain for when they're healthy again, where they can go. Because I say maybe just wait till indie shows come out, because I don't know where they would want to go. Yeah,
it's not like they released them while was Razor or whatever was.
I think it was Razor was injured. Yeah,
he was fully recovered. They were just waiting for plans on coming back.
And they just get that's unfortunate because like they could have been thrown back with Seth to keep him around, but who knows how much longer Seth's gonna be around? Because we saw a Payback how he kicked Murphy in the head, or Murphy kicked him in the head, and that's been causing a lot of tension between them. So they might be doing Rollins and Murphy on earliest being Clash because they haven't really been seen together on TV on Raw from what I remember. But that's kind of like a whole different thing that's not really related. Because let's go back to the sad stuff. More people got released too. Not talent. Eric and I talked about it before we recorded, but a lot of live event staff got released because they can't really do live events right now. And I was watching Sam Driver and Cultaholic talk about it this morning of how it's weird seeing how much like record profits they're making, but like they have to make these decisions because like all these people are kind of just standing around, not being able to do much because they can't do live events for understandable reasons. And seeing all of them go, it sucks, but that's kind of like the scary nature of the world. And some of the notable names that are gone now are Gerald Briscoe is gone. IRS Erwin R. Shyster is gone. That's Mike Rotunda, that's Bray Wyatt and Bo's dad. So it's tough, and it's got to be wondering like, if they will release like more talent like in the coming, I'd say months probably, considering how like infrequent these happen. So who knows? There's obviously been a lot of controversy around some like stuff for the speaking out movement. Felt Redacted wanting to be fired. I almost said his name. Fortunately, I didn't. Jordan Devlin was also, I think, like gotten like in like hot water. I think he's okay like right now, but I know Joe Coffey's definitely suspended because of what's happened. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening, especially around the UK and the US names, but not under my control, not my business either. So I think it's just about that's all the other news I can think of. I'm not sure if you have any other headlines right away, Eric. Do you have anything else?
No, I think. The TNA voiceover guy, he passed away.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I think I heard Matthew say that yesterday, which I was sad to hear. Yeah. Only impact I could think of is that Eric Young is champion now, and there's kind of building towards Bound for Glory. That's all I really know about Impact. Yeah. So quick change there. So I guess we'll go over to next segment. It's going to head over to No Holds Barred is up next, and I guess it's kind of a headline. We actually want to include it in the headlines for the news. So there was recent. This is like about last week. We heard this at time of recording. It's at WWE is cracking down on superstars who are using the third-party services, mainly known as Twitch and Cameo. Now, these are websites pretty much where superstars can kind of like, bond with fans, talk to them, hang out with them, just kind of like be like a genuine person, basically, like when you look at it and like, say nice things and stuff like that. But now, apparently, they're all cracking down, like giving, like, saying like you can't be doing this, or like we own your real name, so you can't have your name be this on the platform. So it's required superstars to either shut down their Cameo, lock out requests, or just stop streaming entirely. And I know some superstars have acted quickly. I know Paige changed her name on Twitch to her real name, basically, because I don't think they own her real name. Also, she's retired, so like you can't really stop her from doing that. Yeah. It's kind of hard with her. So, but I know, like, I think Zelina Vega is a streamer. Up, down, down. That's a big one, because, like, what about that? That's like one of their like the most entertaining things. It's like Xavier Woods is so much with that. Everyone gets involved with that. It's a lot of fun to watch.
It's been incorporated to WWE programming too.
Yeah, isn't it like licensed by them at this point?
Possibly.
Yeah, because like the Elite were on that once, but I think they haven't been allowed back on since. I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure. Like I remember when Jericho left WWE, like he was told he can't have WWE talent on the show when he went to AEW. It's kind of, it might be like that kind of thing. Like you can't have this talent on your show because they're from another company. Like that's understandable because competition and all, and the spirit of having a war and all that stuff. But now it's like you can't even let the superstars you have under contract, independent contractors, we might add, even like build relationships with their fans and like like start to like build connections, like maybe when they actually see them one day they have something to relate to and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just unfortunate. I just think it's bad because you just cut that connection away from the people, and like these are other humans. Like you saying I can't go into with AJ Styles' stream and hear him talking about like how he doesn't like Dave Meltzer. That apparently was the thing this week, which I thought was kind of funny. And I can't see that anymore. So that's just, come on. I want to see like other people like that and hear AJ talk about the little things in wrestling. So it's rough. I know Cameo is kind of like a different thing. I know in the past I know Tim used Cameo, but Matt was contracted then, not anymore. How he got Sam a birthday wish from Matt Hardy. So like if he was still contracted, we couldn't do that anymore. Like basically because he had to close his Cameo. So like little things like that, it just sucks because like they can't do that. So it's a matter of like these people who really go out there and put like their health at risk, like depending on what kind of match they're in and stuff like that, or accidents happen. they don't get health insurance, you can't let them leave the ring and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a freedom of expression thing that they can't even.
I want to bring up something you said earlier. They are independent contractors, so that means like WWE has to pay for health insurance, no 401ks. So how do they have the right to control what they do on their free time? And
like I said, their real names.
Their real names. You don't own their real names. You don't. And if you're gonna do all this to them, give them health insurance, give them a retirement plan, give them a 401k.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't just like take all this shit away from them. It's not what you can do.
It's just like, yeah, I know, like, I hate politics at the end of the day, but I think this guy brought up a fair point. Andrew Yang, former Democratic presidential nominee, he called out a lot of these practices. Yeah, candidate. Sorry, I should say that's Joe Biden. Incorrect there. I do not have dementia. Don't worry. So he was talking about how he heard about these too and really publicly called out Vince for this. He got said a lot of stuff. It's valid points, but so it's really gotten a lot more attention too to like the mainstream audience, which is crazy. But like it's such a big deal that it's gotten like all this kind of negative PR in the company, and I just feel like that they can't. It's just not fair, like as you said, because like these people they want to be human, like these are people. Like they just want to have friends and be able to connect with fan spaces that they have, especially for the smaller names too. Like the smaller names, like your NXT people, like they want to like build a fan base, make them like follow their careers and stuff like that as they grow more and more. Like, we see Adam Cole, he streams on Twitch. He doesn't use his name at all. He gets Chugs as his Twitch, and he just plays games on there. And that's how he sees a lot of people come through from NXT. And if you're gonna crack down on that, then less people won't know them. They won't have like that connection right away, like when fans are back. It just sucks. That's all I really have to say about that.
I think it's Vince trying to control all the characters. He's a control freak. He's trying to control all like just them individuals as much as he can, because like the wrestlers can get over on their own, and we can have like a Zack Ryder who back in 2011
use YouTube. He used YouTube to his advantage.
Use YouTube to get over, and then like Vince had to push him, had to give him that US title shot, buried him right afterwards.
Which
but
sucks.
He got over organically, and Vince just can't handle that. He just he needs his hands in the pod. He needs to
have some kind of input, because like if he doesn't have that, like their YouTube channels, it's like, well, I can't do anything about this. Well, we need to stop it, and then everything gets thrown to the side. Because like the last person who really like was able to use like some kind of platform to their advantage, I think it was Zack Ryder. But if we're going to like social media, I'm trying to think of like who else it could be. Like Orny Lorcan in a way, like he'd leave this Twitter for a while. It's a really weird situation he was in. I can't think of anybody else like right off the top of my head that used it like that well, where like it helped them. Like, no, but they already got TV time. I'm trying to think of people, but like they already had time on TV that was helping them. So like otherwise, it's really hard. So if they have that taken away, then it's like shit. And we see some superstars use Twitch and social media to like further angles. I remember seeing a clip of Zelina Vega's stream where Bianca Belair showed him and attacked her for the storyline on Raw. And if they can't do that anymore, then it's like, oh, well, this is going to happen on Raw every week, and maybe we might not even see it, considering how like they book some of their undercard stuff sometimes. So moral of the story: let people be them. Let people have connections, and that's just about it. It's a tough topic. You can read all about it from other people, like Andrew Yang has spoken out about it. There's a lot of stuff out there talking about it. Being the Elite made fun of it this week. Eric, I don't think you watched it, but there was a segment backstage where it's a Dark Order, and Evil Uno's on his phone. Brody Lee walks in the room. He's all mad because they lost it all out, and he's like, "Are you on fucking Twitch?" And Uno's like, yeah. What's your name on Twitch? Evil Uno. And then he gets called for Brody Lee by it, and like he can't use Twitch anymore, and all Dark Order gets banned for using Twitch. And it's like, obvious joke there. So yeah, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. But yeah, that happened on Being the Elite, and we saw it all out with Kip Sabian. He had the he had the sign with his Twitch on it, and then he snapped his fingers, and it said, "This match has been approved by AEW." And I'm like, there it is on TV. So yeah, that's a thing. Miro can still stream at least too. That's cool. He has a YouTube as well where he posts all like his stream VODs, which is really nice. So yeah, let people have connections. Oh, go ahead.
Also, this is also taking away a huge market from WWE, and
exactly.
And AEW is gonna scoop it up.
People like us. People like us.
All these gamer kids and all these people who maybe weren't wrestling fans to begin with would watch these people stream, like, oh, I like them streaming. Oh, they're wrestlers. I'm going to check out wrestling.
Exactly.
Oh, I like wrestling.
because like they're all on Twitch, which is a very gamer-centric platform, so that also streams on Twitch. So it's like you see a lot of influx of people. I mean, people might just like both anyway, because Impact does their shows on Twitch too. People watch that. They might already be watching from like they don't have a TV, for example. So so yeah, it takes away that whole market of like people who are like around our age, maybe even younger. Probably there are people who are younger that also use Twitch. Lots of them. They can get that crossover appeal, as you said, and now that's gone. And now AEW can use that for people like Kip Sabian, especially Miro, because he has such a big name to him already. And say if like maybe someone else in the mid card starts one, maybe like I don't know, like Sammy Guevara. He already has a vlog though, so he already has YouTube. If they keep like developing their content for people see that, they're gonna want to watch their competition. And it's like, well, that's your fault, WWE. That's not great. So yeah, it sucks, as I said multiple times already, but that's just all I have to say about that. So let's take a quick sponsor break. So the sponsor for today's episode, as usual, it is the SSS store and also my Twitch channel, as we just talked about Twitch, because we have used these two in the past. So with Tim's departure, I will have to take responsibilities over the store. We'll talk to him about that, and we'll probably start thinking of other merch ideas, probably like a t-shirt, maybe some other versions of the products we already have. I'll look more into that, but current products such as the mask and the towel are still on the store. So that is teespring.com/stores/shootstylesauna. Over on my Twitch channel, we're pretty much keeping a usual schedule of 4 to 5 days a week, 4 to 5 hour streams. Pretty standard stuff. We're currently playing through Final Fantasy X Blind and Fall Guys, that hip new game, but it's very fun in my opinion. So for the store, go to teesprings.com/stores/shootstylesauna, and for my Twitch, it is twitch.tv/stelios with 2 underscores, and that's where you go. So moving on from the quick sponsor break, we're gonna go over to probably a quicker game of this or that, considering it's only just Eric and I in this one. So we could probably have some fun with this one if Eric wants to pitch in his own ideas. So I have created this or that. It's going to be a shorter one, considering it's only one real category. It is a supercard edition. So basically what I have done, I have gone through and created, I think, a 16 or 17 match supercard between WWE, AEW, and New Japan. So how it's going to work is I'm going to go down the card, name the 2 matches up for, like, I guess, pick, and then we will say which one we would rather see. So once my page loads up, I will get going. So it's kind of like your standard show works. You start with the lower card matches and you work your way up to like the big matches. And I've tried to avoid situations where like I use a match that I've said in theory, and this is just before, like Brian versus DSJ, I think I mentioned before on this. I try to avoid that because we've mentioned it before. So let me get my Google Doc refreshed. Try to load it again. There it is. There we go. All right, so once again, all 17, and it's 17 I haven't shot. So if you're thinking about how it would happen, just think of like it's a kind of think like Mania this year. It's a 2-night show, maybe like an MSG or something like that. And then there are 3 promotions come together, lots of different matches, and we'll just go through match by match, pick the one you'd rather see, and we'll just go from there. If you want to do your own because you think you can do it better, go ahead, and I'll play the game. So starting up, we'll start with a tag team match. You have 2 options. Do you do War Raiders versus Jurassic Express or Roppongi 3K versus Breezango?
I mean, they probably would go with War Raiders versus Jurassic Express because they're pushing Jungle Boy to the moon.
Exactly.
But I want to see Roppongi 3K versus Breezango.
Because for the character stuff would be really cool. Because like you have like the futuristic style of Roppongi 3K versus like the comedy of Breezango.
Nobody can hate Breezango, and no one could hate Roppongi 3K.
Because Show and Yo are great. Especially everyone's like in Show a lot more recently because of what he did in the summer. But like you get the big like contrast in styles between, well, not really contrast. You have like 3 big guys and then you have Jungle Boy, but still it could be like a really exciting match because we saw like Warriors versus Black and Ricochet at TakeOver New York. That was a really fun match. Yeah. So, but like, it's also
we get the interaction between Breezango and Rocky Romero too.
Yeah, so I was thinking of him too. Like maybe they bring like a 3rd guy to like come and maybe counteract him. Plus, like they would do like a parody entrance. They probably do like a Back to the Future like parody entrance for like Roppongi 3K too. Like they do it for everybody. So that'd be kind of funny. Like it'd just be good for entertainment. So if I had to pick, because I'll do mine too. I think I'm going to say 3K versus Breezango because I did do my picks for these. I want to wait till I actually like talk about it with you guys.
It's going to be such a better match.
Yeah, it'd just be fun. Plus, for entertainment, it'd be really fun too. All right, so we don't have many women's ones. AEW's women's roster is so limited. So the one I have written down is Bianca Belair versus Nyla Rose, or Mercedes Martinez versus Big Swole. Lots of diversity here. Now that I think about it.
Mercedes and Swole.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, they probably actually worked it out on the Indies, considering how much of a veteran Martinez is. But like Bianca versus Nile would be a really good like powerhouse match. So that's a pretty fun one. This is kind of a comedy one coming up next. Otis versus Orange Cassidy or Toriano versus Marco Stunt.
Oh, why'd you have to use Marco? I would use. Oh.
I don't think anybody else. I'm like, okay, Yano. Who am I putting against Yano? Because I can't use anybody from New Japan against them. So it's kind of tough. But like, this is kind of like a pop the crowd, make the crowd like go crazy. Or like, if OC is in there, they're gonna go like insane. They're gonna.
I would do. How about triple threat? Yano, Orange, Otis.
Probably should have did that. They're all like singles or tag team matches, so that's
King
fair.
of KOPW, King of Pro Wrestling, triple threat.
Yano.
Match.
Just can't do a 4-way. Oh, there'd be no option then. So yeah, that's fair. If I had to pick between these two, I'd probably do Otis and Orange because I think that'd be the better match and probably more entertaining. Considering like Orange would probably just no sell Otis like doing all the stupid stuff, but then he would just like mess around too. All right, yeah. But the triple threat sounds pretty good too, though.
I think if Otis was like more,
nope, you're right. You
feel that Orange would be better.
Yeah, it's true. But like they're both good guys, like when it comes to their shows. All right, next up, it is a two kind of contrasting matchups. I think they both be pretty good. Minoru Suzuki versus Timothy Thatcher, or Shingo Takagi versus Dominik Dijakovic. Yeah, no AEW in this one now that I think about it, but you know, not every single one has every promotion in it.
Can I change Dijakovic to Shinsuke?
See, I always put Shinsuke in here, but I'm like, he's already done so many New Japan matches, though.
But not with Shingo.
That's true. Like, not some of the newer guys, though. But like,
yeah,
it's tough. But that's not a bad choice. But like,
I'll stay with yours. So it's probably Thatcher Suzuki.
Yeah, because that'd be also kind of like a mat style match, but with like the occasional striking between them. Because Suzuki like and Thatcher kind of hitting each other just sounds really fun. Let's go over to an 8-man tag. I think this one's kind of obvious, but I also want to hear your thoughts. 8-man tag options. You have the Bullet Club. You can pick whoever it is versus the Undisputed Era, or Imperium versus Suzuki-gun.
What about Imperium versus Chaos?
See, I thought about Chaos. I'm like, who would be in that?
But it'd be the never 6-man and Okada.
So it would be Roppongi 3K.
No, the never 6-man. So it would be.
Who was it? That was
Goto, and Yoshihashi and Okada.
Okada in an 8-man tag.
No, yes, that's true.
And a supercard has
been. Yeah. Okay.
Then again, I have Cole and Walter in 8-man tags too, and I think about it. So that's kind of weird as well. But one of them won't be in it if you pick the other one.
Yeah, that's true. Then probably Undisputed Era versus Bullet Club, but it can't be Jay White. It would have to be Kenta Chase Owens. Like
no,
not save God for an actual tag team.
No, yeah, they're on here. They're on here somewhere else though.
Okay.
Who else? Bad Luck Fale.
Kenta. Oh, Fale, yeah.
Yeah, Fale, and who's like one more guy. There's so many people. I don't have Evil on here, so you want to put like Evil as the leader? You could do that. And like Dick Togo be the manager.
Yeah, that's a good option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Yujiro Takahashi.
Oh yeah, Yujiro Takahashi. Yeah, there you go. I know Ishimori's. Ishimori's in the next prompt actually. So yeah, if I had to pick, I'd probably be the same way because you know Adam Cole was in the Bullet Club. You know O'Reilly and Fish worked in New Japan. Why not? And I don't know if Roddy worked with anybody who worked in New Japan while he was in Ring of Honor. But hey, why not? Yeah, no, I don't think so. But going up next, it's more of like juniors versus cruiserweights kind of thing going on here. So your options are Rey Fenix versus Hiromu Takahashi, or Murphy versus Taiji Ishimori.
Ooh.
So spread of the table here.
I love Murphy though.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Like, these are all like, really good cruiserweights / juniors. Wait, is he a cruiserweight anymore, Murphy? I don't think he is.
No, he doesn't compete in the cruiserweight division.
That's true, but like I think he's like 215 or 220 now. But still, he was a cruiserweight for a time. It was a good time.
Yeah. Oh God. Who was it? It was Takahashi and who?
Takahashi and Phoenix.
Oh God. I don't think Takahashi and Phoenix would be that good together. But I would definitely, yeah. Would
well,
definitely
we did see how good Takahashi versus Dragon Lee was, and Phoenix probably kind of similar to Dragon Lee, not entirely, but he has like more, like he has all the high flying stuff. He has the tightrope walk, all that fun stuff.
I'll go with Phoenix Takahashi.
Yeah, this is actually really hard too, because like Murphy Taichi would be such a hard hitting match and so quick too. I'm gonna go with that one too, because that one sounds really fun. Like all the athletic stuff they would do. Imagine like you see like the tightrope walk on the rope, and then Takahashi catches him and puts him into a time bomb. That would look cool. Let's see, tag team match, so 2v2, Lucha Brothers versus the Undisputed Era, which is O'Reilly and Fish, or the Usos versus God.
Oh, Usos versus God.
Because they're so similar, and that'd be a really fun match.
And they're related.
Yeah, that's true. They are. Why not? So I'd probably say that too, but like the other match would be so good as well. But like you gotta do like that connection. Plus they're so similar. All right, going over to a trios match.
We could do trios. We do Bloodline, Roman, and Usos versus God and Hikuleo.
We'll get to Roman because he is on here much later on though. Let's see, trios action. So 6-man tags. The New Day versus the Elite, not on a up down down this time, or the Golden Elite versus the OC. Gallows and Anderson do work in New Japan technically because of their contracts. So you got Kota Ibushi and the Bucks versus the OC, or the New Day versus the Elite.
New Day versus the Elite.
Yeah, that's like too entertaining because like Creed and Omega have so much beef because of that. All right, this be cool for storyline.
But reasons. you're gonna put Omega in a 6-man.
That's fair. That's why I get the option. But also Ibushi would be in a 6-man if you do that. So it's kind of you take one of the big New Japan guys, put him in a 6-man. Oh, I guess like So it's kind of tough. You got to think about like how you would do the card. So it's some of these could be pretty hard. All right, next up, for storyline reasons, this could be fun. So you can do Bullet Club leader fight between Jay White and Finn Balor, or you can do a Wyatt family showdown between Mr. Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt.
I'd do that, Mr. Brody Lee and the Fiend.
That'd be so cool. Like the build would be really cool and stuff like that. And then, like you see Brody Lee come out like the new character and everything. You'd see the Fiend come out and they just stare at each other and just fight. That'd be fun.
But if we're gonna do Bullet Club leaders, fatal 4-way match.
So you would put Omega and Styles in there too.
Fatal 5-way.
All right, because Anderson too.
He was never really a leader.
He's kind of like so Evil. So it'd be Evil, Styles, Omega. Oh wait, Omega was the leader.
Evil was never the leader. He was just the new guy in town.
He was just because Jay White wasn't there.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next,
it would be Finn, Styles,
Omega.
White, Jay White.
Yeah.
Adam Cole. Adam Cole considered.
Was he a leader? So wait, we had the first one was Balor was first. Then it was AJ.
He was more in the U.S. Bullet Club in the U.S. in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, so that was more of like he was in it. I don't know if he was the leader though. Yeah, so I think it's if you want to include Evil, it'd be a 5-way. But if you're not going to include him, it's going to be a 4-way.
Let's do fatal 4-way. Just those 4.
Okay. Let's see. Next up, or number 10. So this is kind of like a powerhouse match. Keith Lee versus Brian Cage, or Bobby Lashley versus Lance Archer.
Lee versus Cage,
because they can do a lot of the work rate, fast paced stuff too if they wanted to, because they both can move around.
Yeah.
All right, this next one, a lot of different clashes here. So we got Daniel Bryan versus Pentagon, or Tanahashi versus MJF.
Daniel Bryan versus Pentagon, because I would assume Tanahashi would be in a bigger match. He would be like,
but MJF.
I guess a John Cena.
Yeah, I didn't put Cena on here because I think we've mentioned that match before. So yeah, I didn't want to do Bryan versus Cena because that's too easy. Let's see. Back to trios action. It is Death Triangle versus British Strong Style, or SCU versus LIJ. You pick the 3 people.
Death Triangle versus British Strong Style.
Yeah, because I can't find a spot to put the other 3 like Bate and Dunn on here because I couldn't think of anything for them. And then LIJ, you can kind of do whoever you want if you wanted to. All right, next one. This I would also say probably Death Triangle versus BSS too. All right, next one. This one's a fun one for obvious reasons. Orton versus Cody, or Triple H versus Cody.
Well, we've already had both of those.
That's true, but like the new version of Cody, like, you know, American Nightmare, he has a company now.
Triple H.
Just for the clash of executives. And he smashed the throne. All right, the other women's match, because there aren't many talents to work with for AEW women. Shida versus Io Shirai, or even though she's NWA, she appears on Dynamite. Thunder Rosa versus Bayley.
Io versus Shida.
Very Joshi stuff going on there. Ooh, next one should be fun, because even though he technically got it in WWE, you know, he's a whole different person. Jon Moxley versus Seth Rollins, or Jon Moxley versus Roman Reigns.
Moxley versus Rollins.
Just to see like the new version of him go after. Oh, I faded away
again.
But like the new Roman would be kind of cool to see going against Moxley, but you know they'd be kind of similar. I feel like, because you know they have the very like ruthless, beat everybody up stuff going on. All right, second to last one. So you can do Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega, or Naito versus Gargano.
I feel like Naito Gargano would have mixed well because Gargano's so small.
Yeah,
but Keith Lee Gargano went well.
It did go. It was pretty good. And Keith Lee is bigger than Naito.
Probably Omega and Cole.
Plus the Bullet Club stuff would be in there.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I want to add one more. I couldn't think of anything else for like these four. You can do Ibushi versus Walter, or Okada versus Drew McIntyre.
Ibushi versus who?
Walter. So guys fucking murdering each other basically.
And who else?
Okada versus McIntyre. Because I know Drew has said he wants to fight Okada.
Probably Ibushi Walter.
Yeah, because that'd be a really strike-heavy match, and they just beat the shit out of each other. But Okada versus Drew McIntyre could be really good, because I think Okada could work with like a big guy like him. But you know, it'd be probably a lot slower, but very storytelling focused.
I'd prefer Okada versus Orton, in my opinion.
Yeah, battle of the drop kicks too. They both have very, very nice drop kicks, but Orton's busy with potentially Cody. It's like, what do you think of that? That's pretty much it. I don't know if you would have to do like your own version of that, but or to compete that. But what do we think? Good one.
Yeah, I think I do have some different ideas. We could maybe do for different. Next time we could do another.
Like a multi-man. Do like multi-mans. Probably get more multi-mans, like not or not tag teams, because there's a lot of tags. There's a couple tags. It's mainly one-on-ones, but like, I also want to get like no stipulation matches. But they don't want to do too many stipulations though.
Yeah, like, or maybe like next episode we can come up with our own super cards.
Let me compare. That'd be a good idea.
12 matches, 3 promotions. See, but you can fuck it. Throw Ring of Honor in there. Fuck it.
Or you can pick whatever 3 promotions you want, and then like we all compare them. So like I could pick. So like for example, like you pick New Japan, Ring of Honor, and AEW. I pick like WWE, New Japan, or WWE, AEW, and NWA. Someone else picks like the other 3 promotions. Like you do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah.
You know, NWA very limited, but still, or like Impact could even get in there, because they probably have a bigger roster pool. But yeah, that's a good idea. I want to think of that, because obviously you're trying to think of so many ideas for like the basic prompts. It can get harder as we go on, because you know you have less people to work with. You get really creative with some of this. I thought I would do that. So that's it for this or that. That's a pretty fun segment. So now let's go over to like the last like proper discussion segment. This one should probably be not as long as the other stuff on here, but we're gonna go over to a sauna seat, more of a general discussion here. Not really this conversation, but since you know, with Roman Reigns back in the picture, made his return at SummerSlam to a really good ovation, like from a lot of people. He won the Universal Championship like a week later at Payback in a very interesting way. And now he is with Paul Heyman, as we talked about last time. And now as Universal Champion, very much more of like a tweener / heel persona. How are we feeling about it? Like, do we like the new change? Do we like where it's going? I mean, it's still early days, so you know, but you know, it's different than what we've seen. It's a really good dynamic, I think. So Eric, what are you thinking?
I like it. This is the Roman Reigns we've been wanting since 2015, when he was dominant. 2014, 2015, when he was dominant in Survivor Series, was dominant in the Royal Rumble, but for some reason WWE just wanted him to be a smiling, happy babyface. Now they're John Cena, which he can't be because there's only one John Cena.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just so happy we finally get to see this, and Roman can just be the hard hitting badass that we know he can be. And
Heyman talks for him too.
Yep.
Because it's kind of like the Brock dynamic where he can still talk, like he'll talk on his own. We've seen, but he'll let Heyman do all the important stuff for him. Like he's kind of like he did the contracts for him. He figured out a way to manipulate him into the match anyway. He didn't sign the contract, blah blah blah. And now we got the whole thing with Jey Uso, which it's bold, but it's kind of like you said before we went live. It's kind of more of like a placeholder thing until you get to like a bigger picture thing for him.
I think this is just to build this Roman Reigns character up to be more of ruthless and just like. He's cutting all ties with his family. Is just him right now.
It's all about him because, like, Jimmy's not even there because he's injured. So where does it go from here after Jey Uso? I don't know what he'll do for Hell in a Cell's in October now, as it turns out. But like, you can't I don't know if you can really build a feud for Roman to be in Hell in a Cell considering how dumb that stipulation has gotten.
I mean, we can do Roman versus Braun because that match hasn't ended yet.
That's true. I never did. It's still going on.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. The longest match in history. Not the 3-hour match that we talked about on the last episode.
Yeah.
Shoot shot, hopefully coming back next time, unfortunately. We'll think about that. I think, like, the big thing that I want to see is probably, like, who, like, is going to be the guy that might be able to beat him. I'm thinking it could be Big E if they want to keep that singles push going for, like, 6 months from now. I think it could be a thing. I think it'd be cool to see Big E, like Kofi, get, like, this big monumental push. Maybe fans will be somewhat back by then in person. Like, you give them that push towards either, like, Rumble or like Mania if they really want to really go all in with it. People really like it. And you do Roman versus Big E at Mania, and then you do like maybe he wins. I don't know. That could be a good time because like I feel like we'll probably see Fiend enter the fold maybe eventually, but he's kind of doing his own thing right now with Bliss because I don't know if you saw the clip from their Twitter account last night, but they're doing this fatal four between the women. Bliss attacks Cross on the outside. She hits Sister Abigail on Cross, and then she left the match. And I'm like, ooh. So I think that's going to go a little bit further, give like Fiend some character work to go with, and then maybe when he's ready, he can get another shot because he didn't get pinned. I don't think he got pinned, but I think Braun got pinned in the triple threat. So you can do that match if you wanted, but we'll see. I just don't do it in Hell in a Cell because the match will end in a stupid way. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to see Fiend get pinned again because like he is this hell spawn that. Really, I don't know how he got affected by a low blow, but still, it's weird. But other people they can work with, I know, don't do Corbin again, please. I just don't want to see that because that was so bad earlier in the year. Even if Roman was a good guy, then
it just lasted so long. It's like 8 months.
It was like October all the way to February, like the end of February, and it went so long. And then Roman left because COVID happened, sadly. So. Riddle, if they wanted to, give him a push, but I know Riddle's in a weird spot considering all the real life stuff going on around him, and he's still in that Corbin feud, sadly. Even though he beat him at no payback, sadly. I can't think of anybody else right away. Oh, Bryan, if you want to do like face Bryan versus heel Roman, that'd be awesome, if you ask me. Maybe like the Rumble, they could do that, or like on the road to Mania. It depends to Bryan because I know Bryan's with a newborn kid right now, which that's nice. Also, SmackDown's been doing stuff for the women. I know Bayley just turned on Sasha last week, and now they're starting to build towards that. And this has been something that a lot of people have been waiting for, myself and Tim included. So it's nice seeing they're slowly going towards. I just don't know when it's going to happen because they rid her off with a kayfabe injury, that being Banks. So I don't know when. Maybe Hell in a Cell. It'll actually make sense too because it's kind of a blood feud right away. Or people are even suggesting Mania if they want to go that long, which I'm like, you're gonna prolong the story by like 7 more months just to get to Mania because it's in March next year, but it's at the end of March, so it's not really a difference. But I don't know. If I had to guess, probably Hell in a Cell if they want to get it done right away. I don't know, but there's a draft coming up. And if they wanted to do this thing then, well, allegedly, I'm guessing it's going to be October. If they wanted to do the draft, then they could have Bayley drop the title and separate them. That's what I would do, just so you could have Banks be like her own person instead of being like in a tag team all the time. That's just me. But we'll see. And also the draft could also help like both rosters like get a fresh start.
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, you cut out.
What they need right now is just like let's just start over, like fresh start. I did.
It's just weird because Survivor Series is the week. It's like the month after, and like all these people who come and be like, "Okay, let's fight for the name of our brand." I'm like, but you just got here.
Yeah,
that's like a nitpicky thing. Also, do we think NXT will be involved again this year? I'd imagine yes.
I think so. Yeah, because it would be cool. Who do we got? Roman versus Balor versus Drew.
That'd be really cool, honestly. Don't they all have history too? Balor beat Roman on his first night on Raw. Roman and Drew have a long history, and I don't think Balor and Drew have really ever crossed paths a lot, right? It's probably some random match on Raw, if anything, because they were both on Raw for a long time. But like, hey, Balor could probably call it Drew for not being like a NXT champion for very long. That's an idea, and there you can go from there. Because Balor can kind of be both a face and a heel. He's kind of a tweener right now, I feel like. What else? You can do Shirai probably versus Banks by that point, and Asuka. That'd be a fun match. You could do tag team champions, be Breezango. Oh, actually, speaking of tag belts, they might unify the tag belts from what we saw on Raw last week or this past week, because they had Nakamura and Cesaro go on Raw to challenge the Profits, and they're going to fight on Raw this week. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So they're kind of doing like Raw versus SmackDown for tag belts. I'm not sure if they're going to unify them or it might be like a filler feud, but maybe they might unify the tag belts. Because, the tag division, it's just like, especially for the women, they're cutting off a lot of the tag teams, if you haven't noticed. They cut off the Iconics are gone. Bayley and Sasha are gone. Some other tag teams I think are dissolving. So it's kind of like you're kind of skimming the tag division.
I think what they should do is kind of go back to kind of 2006 SmackDown and have like, all right, so Raw is going to have WWE Championship, Raw Women's Championship, and the tag team titles and the U.S. title. And then SmackDown can have the Universal, their SmackDown Women's Championship, the Cruiserweight, bring the Cruiserweight division up, and the IC title.
Well, so you would move it from NXT back to SmackDown?
Yeah, because really, even on NXT, it's not doing that much.
You can go between that's why 205 Live exists, because every Cruiserweight works like between 205, which is taped after SmackDown.
Yeah, but who the fuck watches 205 Live?
Scott. That was about it. I think Scott. That's what Tim told me. That Scott watches 205 Live. He actually really likes it. And we saw 205 when we went to SmackDown, but that was like that was only like 2 matches.
That was the last thing I saw.
Pretty much, it was Joaquin Wilde before he got kidnapped, basically, and somebody else. And then we saw Jack Gallagher with his new tattoos. That was like the biggest thing that came out of that night was like the tattoos on Jack Gallagher more than anything else. But like we'll see. Like if cruiserweights for me, I feel like just like have him. I would say probably give him a shot. Maybe don't put him on Raw. Raw actually could maybe use a little bit of time, or like use their cruiserweights on Raw because there's a couple of them on Raw. You have Humberto, you have Cedric, you have Murphy. I don't know if Murphy's one anymore. You have Dominic. He's a cruiserweight, right? He could be like a big deal, yeah. Because if he's gonna forego NXT, maybe have him bring the cruiserweights up to Raw and maybe give Dominic his first title in the cruiserweight title because he's done really well. If you ask me, every time I see him, he impresses me even more. That's my opinion, though. I don't know if you agree with that. But that's all I really feel about it. But like the layout for the draft, we'll get to the draft in a video probably next month is what I'm thinking, whenever they announce it, where we'll all sit down, we'll all do our own drafts. It'll be really fun. So yeah, that's just about it for what I have written down. So this has been another episode of the Shoot Style Song Wrestling Podcast. Thank you all for listening. So coming up for content, we have, as mentioned, the G1 Climax discussion video between myself, Eric, and maybe somebody else. I'll have to look into who else would be interested. I know some people from my Twitter asked me. Jake from the New Japan Cup might join us for that because he's shown interest in joining for that. So maybe we'll have a 3-man show for that. And we'll also be doing another episode 2 weeks from now, probably. WWE draft video coming up. Clash of Champions review, as usual, end of the month when that show happens. Probably edited by me, depending on whoever wants to do it. And we'll work on other content ideas in the meantime. So, Eric, anything to plug?
Make sure, please check out our G1 Climax video and come listen to all my crazy theories about what's going to happen.
There's going to be so much shit in that video. I can already tell.
Done like all my overthinking has been focused on this, so it's a lot of overthinking. So check out that video, check out my crazy theories. It's going to be a great G1. I'm super excited, and you should be too.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'll try and like watch most of the big matches when they happen on New Japan World because I know I can just watch them on there for no problem, like the day after or like the morning after they happen. So it'll be good. On my end, like I said, check out the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you like the video. Enable notifications if you really want to. That'd be appreciated. Check out the All Out review before the Clash Champions review drops, and stay tuned for other content we'll be doing aside from the discussion videos, the podcast, and reviews. We'll have more for you coming up in the fall. So. I'm Stel from Shoot Style Sauna, joined by Eric, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys for the next one.